Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Mark. Today I want to talk about playing the game of the One Ring. So we know what this is all about. There is currently in the latest set, the Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth set of Magic the Gathering, a one of one card for the One Ring shown here. And there's only, so one of one, meaning there's only one card of this art in existence, and it can only be found in collectors booster packs, which are currently going right now for about 40 bucks or more a pack. And we know that the price for this card, this one of one, is now at least $2 million. So there are people willing to pay at least $2 million for this card. And so what that does is it creates what I like to think of as a mini game that I want to call the One Ring minigame. And it's interesting to me as a game from the perspective of game theory and what the possible strategies are for the players in this game. What is game theory? So I am not a scholar of game theory myself. Game theory is a branch of mathematics which deals with the conception and strategy of situations among rational players. You can see the definition there from Investopedia. So it basically takes social situations like what we have here and turns it into a game framework where there are possible winners, possible losers, and different payoffs. So one important aspect of game theory is being able to characterize a situation of interest as a game. So for example, it can be a cooperative game where people work together, or a non-cooperative game where people can make decisions that benefit themselves without necessarily working together with other people in the group, although their combined decisions may lead to the benefit of more than one player. So for non-cooperative games, we have a zero-sum game or a non-zero-sum game. What we mean by a zero-sum game is that after the game ends, if you tally all of the wins and the losses, for example, if someone wins $10, that means that somebody else is going to lose $10. And if you tally all the wins and losses together, that results in a zero. That's a zero-sum game. On the other hand, of course, a non-zero sum game is where when you tally all of those wins and losses, it's not zero. So it's possible for people to take actions in the game such that sort of everybody wins, because if you tally all their let's say everyone gets $1, so if you tally that, nobody actually loses anything. So that's a non-zero. That's an example of a non-zero sum game. Then we have what we call a dynamic game or a static game. What we mean by a dynamic game is that there are more than the game is continuous. Like the actions that players take in one round of the game will affect what the payoffs are in the next round of the game, and so on and so forth. And then finally, we have the type of information available to players in the game. So it can be that each player knows everything about everything in the game. For example, chess. So you know all the pieces, how they move, and you have basically, if you know all the possible moves. Of course, well, in theory, you know all the possible moves that your opponent can make. And then, of course, there's imperfect information where you don't know. For example, a game of Magic, you don't know what your opponent is going to draw. You don't know what the opponent has in their hand. So that's all imperfect information. If we look at this game that is the One Ring, it is an n-player, non-zero sum, dynamic, imperfect information game. And it goes like this. So each player has some number of collector packs, right? In each round, each player has three possible actions. They can open their packs, they can sell their packs, or they can do nothing. Now, if the One Ring is opened, the game ends. And as for determining the winners, naturally the person who opened the One Ring is the big winner, right? But then every player who was able to sell their packs at the highest possible price throughout the game, where the content of their packs is less than the price, Okay, so for simplicity, we're going to ignore the other serialized rings and just focus on the one ring. Those people are winners too, because then their packs never had the one ring anyway. So the best that they could do is to sell the pack at the highest possible price. So those people are also winners in this particular game. So I think that this means that there are essentially two types of players in the game, and these are the hunters and the non-hunters. So the hunters are simply interested in finding the one ring. They don't care about value, and so they will open every pack they get, and they're essentially NPCs, non-player characters in this game, because they only have one strategy. They're not interested in maximizing their value. So whenever they buy a pack, they open it. It's as simple as that. So our focus is on the non-hunters. So the non-hunters are the ones who are interested in maximizing their return. So they bought collector's packs, but they aren't necessarily interested in opening the collector's packs, especially if they consider that there's a very small chance, or it's only a very small chance that the collector's pack that they have would actually contain the one ring. And so what happens in this game is that each round, the hunters will try and buy packs from non-hunters. Because we know that the one ring is only going to appear in an English collector booster pack and only in this particular round of release. So there will be like a holiday release of LTR, but those will not contain any serialized rings. So these are a one and done thing, and all the collector's packs that could contain the one ring are already out in the market as of today, I guess, or because the pre-release starts this weekend, right? So as I was saying, each round the hunters will try and buy packs from non-hunters, and then because they're hunters, they will open every pack they have. Non-hunters can also decide to open their packs themselves. At the end of each round, if the ring isn't opened, then the price of every pack increases for the next round. At the same time, the chances that the ring can be found in any of the packs remaining also increases per pack. So the question from a game theory perspective is there an optimal strategy for non-hunters? So I'm not a scholar of game theory myself. I mean, I'm not formally trained in that area of mathematics. My PhD is in statistics. That said, I'm very interested in this area. Whenever something like this arises, like whenever there's an interesting game, I like to think about it in a game theory perspective. And I think that here it's difficult to think about an optimal strategy, because say suppose we have this strategy. Suppose no non-hunters sell or open their packs until the price reaches the maximum ever that people are going to want to pay for those packs. Now at that point, then in the context of the game as we structured it, the best move for all the non-hunters will be to sell all at once so that they all get that high price. Okay? However, that is the best strategy for every one of the non-hunters except the non-hunter who actually has the one ring. Because then the one with the one ring who sells it will lose, and they will lose big. Right? And at the same time, if not all of the non-hunters sell, okay, if only a portion of the non-hunters sell when the price is at its maximum in this round, but the ring is not found, then all those who sold their packs will lose, because then the price of all the remaining packs are going to go up. And if they didn't sell, they would have been able to get to that higher price. Of course, if the one thing, on the other hand, if the one ring was found in this round, and then all the people, all the non-hunters who sold would win, except of course for the one who has the ring, and all the non-hunters who didn't sell will lose. So it's a complicated matter. So what is the best case scenario for non-hunters? If we put that all into perspective, then if you are a non-hunter and you don't have the one ring, then the best case scenario for you is to never have the one ring opened in any round. and have every other non-hunter sell their packs except for you and the player who actually has the One Ring. At this point, if that's the situation that happened, then your pack or packs are going to be worth at least half the value of the One Ring. The expected value of that pack is going to be half the value of the One Ring. That's huge, right? But at the same time, so the chance that you have, like the perceived chance, that's because the perceived chance that you have the One Ring is going to be 50% at that point. Now, how about if you do have the One Ring? Well, then the best case scenario, well, you have is to never sell, right? The best case scenario if you have the One Ring is you never sell, okay? And then you can open the pack at any time. But of course, there's a complication there. And the complication there is you don't have perfect information in this game. You don't know if you do have the One Ring or you don't. So that makes this a very interesting game. It makes it very interesting how all of this is going to play. And so, in conclusion, I just want to say good luck and high five to everyone who is playing this game that is the One Ring. So are you playing the game? Are you a hunter or a non-hunter? And if you are a non-hunter, what do you think is the optimal strategy for this particular game? Let us know. And yeah, good luck to everyone who's playing. I mean, I'm playing myself, as you can see there, and I'm certainly a non-hunter in this game. So let's see.